Should you be using horizontal video on TikTok? We know this is a relatively new feature, and across the board with social media apps, if they're giving us a new feature or functionality, it means they're going to push this content. They are going to push it so that more people start using it and more people start getting used to seeing it in their feeds. And when more people start getting used to seeing it in their feeds, more people will embrace it, meaning this is a new format that they can eventually run more ads against. They can make more money and be more profitable off of these new features. So whenever someone gives us a new feature, there's going to be a period of time where we're seeing more views or a stronger push on that type of content before it settles down a little bit and it kind of goes more into that neutral territory where it's part of the app but not the main thing that they're focusing on. So it's good for you to be investing a little bit of time and effort into creating horizontal content. We also know TikTok right now is heavily pushing longer form content and content in the form of longer videos in kind of a Netflix sort of situation where you binge watch episode after episode after episode because they're all tied together. So our goals right now are to embrace horizontal video on TikTok, but it should not be your entire marketing strategy on TikTok. Horizontal video right now is really good because they're trying to compete or keep up with YouTube. This is not going to take over TikTok. TikTok will always be a phone-based app, while something like YouTube is more of a desktop or a laptop version of viewing. So we're going with the landscape of the pieces of technology that it is mostly focused on. People scroll on TikTok by holding it in their hand and scrolling through it. When they have to turn it, they're only going to do that if they're very interested in it. And if it's something that's going to be longer form so they can set it down and do other things. A lot of people will watch TikToks and listen to TikToks while they're doing their makeup, doing the dishes, cooking their dinner, getting ready in the morning. They're doing that while they're doing other things. And they can't really scroll while they're putting their makeup on or while they're doing the dishes. So that longer form content is going to be helpful. And having that side view does change the landscape of what we're doing. So they're really giving us that horizontal video to kind of bring over some of our YouTube videos. It's not necessarily meant for us to be creating new content in a horizontal format, but to repurpose the horizontal format videos that we already have. They are looking for longer form pieces of content because the longer a piece of content is, the more ads they can run against it, and the more money that they can make. And so they are looking for you to bring over your YouTube content. They want us to be doing that longer form content that is successful and profitable on YouTube and bring it to them as well. So this is less of a, please create new content for us and put it on a horizontal format, and more of a, we know you're already doing this, but you cannot use it over here in a way that's going to be prioritized. So here's a new functionality for you. So you should embrace horizontal videos. And if you're not already making horizontal videos for YouTube, it's definitely a good idea to start trying. You don't have to go all out with this, but test it out. Horizontal video should be part of your marketing strategy on TikTok, but not the entire thing. TikTok is always going to prioritize that vertical, scrollable content because that is what people are used to. That's how people function. And having to swipe in a horizontal format on TikTok is going to be a little confusing for a while. So we want to make sure that we are prioritizing that vertical content. And right now they're pushing longer form content. So trying that out is going to be really helpful. But do not forget, people's attention spans are short. Just because we're seeing this push toward longer form content right now does not mean the death of that shorter form content. So you should have a well-rounded marketing strategy of vertical, short and long, and horizontal long on your TikToks. Move some of your YouTube videos over. Go back and find some of your evergreen content that's a little bit older that kind of lost its traction on YouTube and bring it over and see if it works on TikTok. Or you can actually use some of your current or contemporary content from YouTube a few days or weeks after the fact, depending on how often you are posting, and drop it on your TikTok and say, hey, if this is relevant to you, if you like this, come check out more like this on my YouTube. Use it as a marketing strategy, but don't use it for every YouTube video that you make. Don't use it for every horizontal piece of content that you are creating, because they are not nearly as profitable as YouTube is. And if you are putting it in multiple locations, you are cutting the ads revenue that you're getting on YouTube. So you want to be strategic about when you're bringing your YouTube videos over to TikTok, because if they can see it on TikTok, you're not going to make nearly as much money as on YouTube. And if they're not seeing it on YouTube because they found it on TikTok, that cuts your ads revenue, but also cuts your reach, which means it's going to affect your algorithm and the potential health of your entire channel in the long run if you continually do it. So being strategic about when you're bringing over these videos is very helpful. So as a whole, if you are posting on TikTok every single day, I would say once Maybe twice a week, you can post a horizontal video. If you're posting less than that, back that up a little bit more too. But if it works for you, if you find a strategy where horizontal video is just working for you on TikTok, by all means, lean into that. If you want to create new content that is horizontal for TikTok, by all means, try that out. Test it. Not everybody's going to be the same. But as a whole, as a generalization for this, we want to see the majority of your content as vertical videos on TikTok, a mix of that really short, fast-paced, get the point out and get out of their way content, and a little bit longer format vertical content with some horizontal content in a long educational format thrown into the mix to see how you're going to do and to cross-promote and market the other channels that you have as well. Horizontal video is here. It is here to stay, but it is not necessarily here to dominate the TikTok space. Drop your questions for this down below. We're going to be continuing to keep you updated on new features and functionalities on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, live streaming, and with the tools and resources you need to make this your most profitable year in business ever, with the least amount of stress and overwhelm and time commitment on your content creation. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.